Okay, so we can start with Blood Sea. The opening of this anime was very poetic. I liked it a lot. Um, what sort of it's a bit cryptic. It's like some guy ranting about blood and people, but it was good. Um, so what does this open with? It opens with this girl Saya. Um, my impressions of Saya was a bit. Uh, the anime did a lot to like try and portray Saya as this like somewhat clumsy, really happy girl. You know, like really girlish, really giggly, and so there's quite a bit of like for the chunk of the first half, it was really this push to make this girl so maddeningly girly. It's sort of I was almost worried that I watching the wrong anime for a moment. I was worried that maybe I had I'm watching something quite different from I thought what it was. So like in the first scene, she like clumsily falls in front of her father, and it's sort of like, and then she's supposed to be some kind of kendo. So she's supposed to be some kind of martial arts, expert. So it was like, oh, and my thought was, oh my god, okay, another clumsy girl, and even making it worse was how she behaved with her father. It was a little too. I don't know. It was like a father complex going on with her. It's like it was a bit creepy, and of course the father looked a bit. The father had like sort of a Bishonen feel to him. So it's like I'm not liking the vibe here. Um, and then her school situation is like there was a good I don't know, maybe for a minute where she goes to school and she's singing a song. It's almost like a sound of the hills, sound of music. It's almost like the sound of music opening. The hills are alive, sort of opening. This is where she's going singing a song, and I was worried. For a moment, I was like, is something going to happen? But no, it's just a sequence of her going through, walking to school, singing a song. It's a bit funny. And then she goes to school, and then you meet the cast of characters, and she has her groupie twins. It's really, the twins, um, it's the groupie girl twins, identical twins. There's that, and who else is that? And there's Yuka, which is the tsundere character who's always like yelling at her for being late. And of course there's the angsty boy who comes into school late, and no one talks to him. So and people are like, oh, who is that? Who is that strange, dark, brooding man? And of course he looks like a pretty boy too. What's his name? Tokizane. And Tokizane-kun. And then so there's this sequence, right? It's like trying to show how how to show how normal she is. It went a bit too far. And then she plays basketball, and people like comment on her on her physical abilities, which was a bit strange, right? Because here she is, like playing basketball down in the hoops, and 10 minutes earlier she clumsily fell on her face twice. She clumsily, there was that. It was like, it was that, and it was that like, what I'm going. Anime people the writers have to like choose. They can't just have. You cannot choose to have a female character who is supposed to be a stereotypical girlish clumsy thing, and then have her be some sort of and have her be some sort of a basketballer. I mean, I don't know. If some guy is a basketballer, would you believe that he's a clumsy guy who falls on his face too? No, quite often you're not gonna believe that. So it's sort of like. So whatever. It was like I was at this point I was worried that maybe I'm watching something. I was watching some shoujo or something, some anime. But I would say one thing though for the sequences, like the art is a bit, the women have such long legs, so it's sort of like they have such it's sort of the way it goes. It's like you have these girls with like short skirts. And there's nothing like voluptuous or like fan servicey about it, but you really notice the long legs of the characters. It's a bit like it's a bit of like a shoujo sort of drawing style, but that was interesting. And then And then okay, and then of course, and then it switches directions. You know, she goes after a day in school. She refuses a boy who wanted to work with her to like go eat some, I don't know what it is, to go to a cafe eat cake. She refuses and she runs back home. It's strange because like as she's running back home, she goes back to her house. The town is really quiet. It was really there was nobody around. It's a bit creepy. You're like, where is everybody? So you don't know. But anyway, she goes back home and then the father goes all serious and says like, work must be done. And then all of a sudden, all her girlishness, everything is like done. And she's like, and she takes a sword. You know, it's very respectfully and goes and fights what looks like a statue. What do I think about the fight scene? Was very, I guess, for all the work they put into making her this girly girl, the fight scene was very. The fight scene got me on the edge of my seat for a little bit. I was really, I was like, I was into it. Even though it's a little bit silly that you have this girl with her sword fighting against a statue, you know, and there's some lingering doubt, like, you know what? As you're clanging that sword with a sharp edge, aren't you like destroying the blade in the meantime? But whatever, she's fighting with a statue. And the scenes were like, I like the scenes were nicely the fight scene like I thought was very exciting as compared to the fight scenes in like Blade, in which I really didn't care. I was like, yeah, this one was very like it got me on the edge of my seat for a little bit. I was and there was the nice tension between her being able to overpower the statue and also when it feels like she's gonna lose, and then of course, and then maybe it's because you see a girl being almost pummeled to death, so you're like you feel for the girl as opposed to if it was a guy or something. But anyway, the fighting was good. Based on that fight scene alone, it was like I was like, you know what, okay, maybe this is they decided that this is maybe an anime to watch, or this is based on that's I might be excited about this anime. A lot of people have made comments about the similarities between this anime Blood Sea and Blood Plus. I don't know if you remember Blood Plus. It's this girl, the same protagonist Saya, who has some has some powerful blood in her that makes her able to fight other beasts. So there is that sort of similarity that like you have this girl who is special, and she's fighting, and she's the one who wants to fight against some monsters, and also with Blood Plus, this girl. But the difference is that in Blood Plus, Saya was a bit more. It was not the happy girly type. She had a bit of more. She was definitely more serious, and there was a little more. And of course, there's also the fact that there is no that male protector figure. The brother. It's not there. It's not also in the same. It's not in this anime Blood Sea. But it's sort of strange that why they have animes that almost sound the same, Blood Sea and Blood Plus, with almost same kind of female protagonists but with the same name. I was a bit like unsure about why they did that. It's why because obviously people will make that connection with this and Blood Sea, and of course the girls are different, so you can't really say. But anyway, it's sort of like I do wonder how it would end, how the next season would go, because it's sort of like there's a lot of tension within this Saya character in this anime. There's a lot of tension between the fact that she's strong enough to fight against demons, and the other part of her which is really girly and is afraid of blood and something like that, and it doesn't like the violence. That tension, I don't know. I find it a bit unbelievable. Well, I'm a jaded anime watcher, so can forgive that, but we'll see how it goes. I hope it goes out over the top, but I would say you should watch it. It's good female protagonist and good fight scene in the end. I would say definitely should watch Blood Sea. See you.